I wanted to talk about struggling with trust issues after a relationship with a narcissist, a psychopath, or a similar pathological personality. It is okay to struggle to trust for a period of time after a relationship with someone who you thought you could trust, who built trust with you, appeared safe, and then systematically, psychologically broke you down. And it is okay to overcorrect for a period of time while you are course correcting. You are not crazy. And here's the thing. You now know, and maybe for the first time, that evil people exist. And there is a difference between knowing that bad people exist and thinking that everyone is bad. But it is understandable if you now need to take time to get to know people before you can trust them. Maybe before you trusted easily. Maybe before you didn't know these kind of people even existed. And now you do. And that changes the way that you see the world and the way that you interact with it. And here's the other thing. Other people don't have to understand. It's not really anyone else's business. There is a huge amount of ignorance and victim blaming rhetoric in society today, unfortunately. And when I say that there's a lot of ignorance, there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions about how you should operate and how you should feel and what you should have known and what you should have recognized, where the reality is that experts cannot even spot narcissists and psychopaths the majority of time. And I am talking world psychopathy expert Dr. Robert Hare, who studied psychopaths his entire career, worked with psychopaths his entire career, has stated that he has been pulled in by psychopaths multiple times and that you cannot tell. And anyone who thinks that they can tell, and a lot of people think that they can tell, is a fucking dumbass. And they are lucky that they haven't had the experience of being pulled in by one. You can't tell. It's not your fault, and you couldn't have known. And it is understandable that you, for a period of time, approach the world with extreme caution. You need to give yourself grace and give yourself compassion and patience. After a relationship with someone who has the same personality disorder as Ted Bundy, if people haven't been through it, they cannot understand the psychological abuse and mind games, if not physical and more. You are going to heal, but it takes time. But if you are walking around like an open wound, constantly on edge, hypervigilant, dealing with new people, like, is this person love bombing me? Is this person mirroring me? Is this person gonna use this thing that I said against me later? If I set a boundary, am I gonna get punished? Are they gonna suddenly turn into a completely different person? Am I going to build trust and then get trauma bonded to another pathological abuser? Will I survive if this happens again? I already feel like I have lost my fucking mind and I came out of that relationship not even knowing which way was up. I don't want this to happen again. I see you, I feel you, I hear you, and I understand. I wish there was more understanding in society in general. If someone comes back from war, from a war zone, and there's sounds around them and they're getting PTSD triggers and having panic attacks and meltdowns, there is now a level of understanding in society about what's going on. But unfortunately, there isn't yet the same understanding around abusive relationships with severely pathological abusers like narcissists and psychopaths and trauma bonding. There isn't the understanding yet. And so people can feel insane because the people around them and society is making them feel that way. But if you're experiencing these things, you're actually normal. And this is why I do this work. It doesn't mean you're not going to heal. You are going to heal. Feelings change. We process the grief and the trauma, and there is always capacity to heal. But it's okay for a period of time. Focus on building yourself up. Focus on processing, recovering, practicing self-care. And don't date while you're broken. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse educator and a narcissistic relationship recovery coach. Make sure you hit follow and you can book a session with me through the link in my bio.